Oh, man. Last time, when I did the original ComicThon, I reviewed the movie Hulk, which I said was an underappreciated and far before its time unsung masterpiece. And I fully expected to get some backlash, and boy did I. Well, fuck you anyway, that movie ruled. Anyway, the reason I bring up that review is because I mentioned the sort of, but not really sequel, The Incredible Hulk, which I said was the dumb action movie that everybody asked for. Well, I stand by that statement. First, let me address the status of the film. It's not really a sequel, mostly due to the fact that the Hulk was not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the shared continuity with several other Marvel film properties, though there are still a lot of Marvel movies coming out that have nothing to do with it. Incredible Hulk begins in a way that you could see as a sequel if you really want to. Banner is already the Hulk, so it's not a remake. It's almost a reboot, but it begins with Banner in Brazil and still hiding from the government, which is the exact place and status he was at the end of Ang Lee's film. The past is changed because the first movie isn't canon anymore. Flashbacks clash wildly with the events of Hulk, but there's enough to show that they kept certain things. So, it's not really a sequel, a reboot, a remake, I guess you'd call it a retcon, for all intents and purposes. The structure of the story is that of a second movie. They just figured you already know the origin, it may have happened slightly differently, who cares, Hulk smash. Well, that's all well and good, but how about the movie? This one has Banner, now played by Edward Norton, working at a soda bottling plant in Brazil, where he's working on keeping his anger in check. The rules of how he turns into the Hulk have changed. It's no longer brought on strictly by anger or stress, but rather just by his heart rate getting up to 200 for any reason. And the movie shows that yes, having sex can make him completely Hulk the fuck out. That would probably result in a woman being either extremely satisfied or just plain split in half, and possibly an extremely confused Hulk. Now that I've gotten that image into your head, it will never leave. You're welcome. Anyway, Banner bleeds some of his irradiated blood into a soda bottle, and it winds up in the States where Stan Lee drinks it because, Marvel. General Ross tracks him and sends soldiers to detain him, but he hulks out and escapes, making his way back to the States to meet a mysterious contact he knows only as Mr. Blue, who thinks he can cure him. Mr. Blue can't cure him really, but he can suppress the Hulk episodes with a serum. Meanwhile, one of Ross's soldiers offers to undergo an experiment to turn him into a super soldier, and if that sounds familiar, well, that's another review later on. He gets stronger and faster with each treatment and is even able to go toe-to-toe with the Hulk. I mean, he gets smushed, but he survives and he heals quickly. He winds up going to Mr. Blue and to give him the full on Hulk treatment, and he gets turned into the Abomination and starts wrecking shit, right as Ross finally captures Banner, who convinces him to let him go to fight the Abomination, because if the Godzilla movies taught us anything, it's that you can only stop a giant monster with another giant monster, and that yesterday's enemy can easily turn into an ally due to the all-encompassing rule of cool. There's a bit of a sequel bait with Mr. Blue, who gets a bit of the old Hulk treatment himself and is clearly set up to become the Marvel villain known as the Leader. But fuck him anyway, because there's been no plans to do another Hulk movie. Instead, they just jam him into the Avengers. Probably one of the biggest changes here is the tone of the movie. It's no longer serious, introspective, and philosophical, but rather, you get exactly what you wanted, Hulk smash puny human. I can complain about it, but honestly, it is entertaining. I lament the dumbing down from what was a really excellent movie that people didn't care to want to understand into a stock action film, but I'd be lying if I said watching it again, I didn't like it a little better than when I watched it the first time. The Hulk seems weaker, though, in this film for some reason. In the Ang Lee movie, and to a lesser extent the Avengers, he's like an unstoppable force of nature. But in this one, he's just a big, strong dude. Bullets can't kill him, but they seem to hurt him a lot more in this one, and he's always using random objects as shields to avoid getting shot. They also did away with anger, making him even bigger and stronger. For the most part, this movie is stupid, but stupid doesn't necessarily mean bad, it just means it's best enjoyed by not thinking about it too much. If you can do that, then you can get some pretty good special effects, a lot of Hulk action, and Liv Tyler in her underwear. If you're looking for something smarter, and still has a lot of action, maybe you want to watch Iron Man instead. The Incredible Hulk should be called the Average Hulk, and it gets the epitome of an average score, 5 out of 10.